Hello, amazing fourth graders. It's Mr. Torbein here to show you how to complete the Lunar New Year logic puzzlers. Okay, now before we begin, you're going to really need to get your growth mindset because these are really exciting and really fun, and they're logic puzzles, meaning they're challenging. So let's go over how to solve logic puzzlers. You're going to be given grids that look just like these grids right here. The grids provided to help solve logic problems are useful for identifying what you have learned from each clue. Where the vertical and horizontal squares meet is where you will record your answers. When you know when you know a piece of information is true, drag a dot into the square. So this is a dot. When you prove it's false, drag an X into the square. This is really important. That's why I went ahead and boxed it for you. If you have a dot in a square, now you know the rest of the boxes in the row and column must be X. So right here you have a dot. You know that the vertical column, the rest of them have to be X's. And in the horizontal row, the rest of that row has to be X's. If you have an X in each of the squares in the row or column, you know that the last square must be a dot. Continue working through each of the clues until you have found all the information. Compare the grids to see which information you can imply on each. You may have to review the clues a few times in order to figure out all the information. Now I'm going to show you how to complete the first logic puzzle. On slide number 1, we have Dragon Dancers. It reads, Kelvin is a dancer who leads a group of dancers to perform the dragon dance. Use the clues to figure out the leader of each dance, the order they performed, and the special dance pattern that the group excels at. So let's take a look at our grid that we have over here. We have our symbols. Remember, the X means that that it is false, and the dot means that it is true. So we have the names of the dancers. We have the order they are performed, and then on this side and on this side, we have the special dance pattern that the group excels at. Now let's take a look at the clues. Number 1, Chen's group does the best whirlpool pattern. So Chen does the best whirlpool pattern. I can put this dot right here. That is true. Okay, remember when we put a dot there, that means everything vertically, so up and down, is false. And everything is horizontally is false as well. Now, this only applies to the grid square. So you see how this is bolded right here? It only stays within the square. Okay, now we know that Chen does the whirlpool. They did not perform first or last. Okay, so first and last would be fifth. So we know that Chen did not perform first and he did not perform last. Now, since he did the whirlpool pattern, we know that whirlpool was not first and whirlpool was not last. Okay, that narrows it down to second, third, or fourth. Let's look at the second clue. Bo performed after Bai, who performed after the group that excels at the threading the money pattern. So let's take a look at the threading the money pattern. We know that it is not going to be Bo. It is also not going to be Bai because it says Bo performed after Bai, who performed after the group that excels at the threading the money pattern. So we know it can be either one of those two. Okay, number 3. Kelvin's group performed last. Ooh, that's something that's true. I need my dot. Kelvin's group performed last. That is true. That means everything horizontally is false. And that means everything vertically is also false. His pattern was not Tai Chi or looking for pearl. So I can take this over here, and we know that it was not Tai Chi or looking for pearl. Okay, That narrows it down to Cloud Cave and threading the money. Okay. The Tai Chi pattern was performed. Oh, sorry, number four. The looking for pearl pattern was performed second. Ooh, okay. So the looking for pearl pattern was performed second. That's true. Let's make everything else false. Now the real fun begins. Remember how the instructions said that you're going to have to reread the clues and think critically? Again, I asked that you had your growth mindset with you. So don't give up whenever you get stuck at this part. As you can see, we have lots of our grid that's still empty. But I bet if we reread and use our growth mindset to think critically, we can figure this out together. So let's go back to clue number one. Chen's group does the best whirlpool pattern. Got the whirlpool, got everything else closed out, marked out, so that doesn't really help. They did not perform first or last. Well, that doesn't really help either. But let's take a look at this next clue. Bo performed after Bai, who performed after the group that excels at the threading the money pattern. So we've got Kelvin up here, who's either Cloud Cave or threading the money. But wait, if Kelvin goes last, and it's Bo and Bai perform after the threading the money pattern, then wait, Kelvin can't have threading the money. Something can't go after last. So I'm going to get rid of that. That makes that false. And the dot can then go to Cloud Cave. So I know that Kelvin did Cloud Cave. Isn't that exciting? Now let me cross out everything else that's going vertically. And because we know that Kelvin was Cloud Cave here, we now know that Cloud Cave was fifth over here as well. So let's go ahead and bring our dot there, draw our X's to everything else that is false. You're doing great. Let's look at clue number three. Kelvin's group performed last. His pattern was not Tai Chi or looking for the pearl. Doesn't really help me. Let's go to clue number four. The looking for the pearl pattern was performed second. Again, this doesn't really help me. Clue number five. The Tai Chi pattern was performed before the whirlpool pattern. So let's take a look down here where we have the Tai Chi and the whirlpool. Well, if Tai Chi was performed before whirlpool, I can figure out that it is either going to be first or it is going to be third. I'm going to go ahead and put it as third, just for now to give it a try. Okay? And that means that the whirlpool pattern must have been fourth. Let's go ahead and mark our X's so that everything else is crossed out. Huh, look at how that worked. When I crossed everything out, when I put it that way, it left only one square left. Only one grid square left. That must be where my dot goes. So let me go ahead and put my dot there. So we've got threading the money, that was first. We've got looking for pearl, that was second. We've got Tai Chai, that was third. And whirlpool fourth. And cloud cave fifth. Great. These puzzles do take some playing around with them. Okay. So now that we know that threading the money was first, that is important. I remember in clue number two, it said that Bo performed after Bai, performed after the group that excels at the threading the money pattern. Well, let's take a look at some people who we don't know. We know it was Chai, Chen, Bo, and Bai that we don't have. The threading the money pattern was first. Actually, it can't be Chen because Chen said that one of our clues that he cannot go first. So it's between Chai, Bo, and Bai for threading the money pattern. But wait, if Bo performed after Bai, who performed after the group that excels at the threading the money pattern, that means Bo and Bai can't be threading the money. So, so that must mean that threading the money must be Chi or Chai. So I'm going to put that there. That marks all of these out right here. And that makes all of these right here false. Now it says Bo performed after Bai, who performed after the group that excels at the threading the money pattern. That must mean that Bai performed after the group that performed the threading the money, which was Chai. So Chai went first, Bai went second, then Bo went third. All right, let's go ahead and cross out the rest of these. Anything that goes vertical, anything that goes horizontal, and the same thing for Bo. Anything that goes vertical, anything that goes horizontal. And look, we're almost done. So we found out that Chen goes fourth. So we have Chai, Bai, Bo, Chen, and Kelvin. Remember, Chen's group did not go first or last. That's true. Bo performed after Bai. That's true. And Bai performed after the group that excels at threading the money. Well, Bai goes after Chai, and Chai matches with threading the money. So everything looks good so far. Now we just need to match who did what over here. So we have Kelvin, looks like it's already matched. We have Chai, who went first, and it matches threading the money. So let's go ahead and put the dot right there for threading the money. Let's close out the rest of this. Okay. Now, then we have Chin, who went fourth and had Whirlpool. Whirlpool matches over here. That looks good. Then we had Bo, who went third, and that matches Tai Chai. So let's go ahead and put our dot where it is true. We'll go ahead and draw an X where it is false. And last but not least, this should be the magic finishing touches. We have Bai, who went second, and that was looking for Pearl. So if we can see Bai over here, and that is also looking for Pearl. So congratulations, you used your growth mindset and completed your first logic puzzle.